Losing a pet is one of the hardest things we go through in life. They are more than just animals, they are family, companions, and a source of unconditional love. Whether it's a dog, cat, bird, or any beloved pet, their absence leaves a void that is hard to fill. But what really happens when they leave us? Did they just disappear, or is there something more? For many, the pain of loss is overwhelming, but there is also hope. Some believe our pets continue their journey beyond this life. They picture them running freely in a place where there is no pain, just joy. Others see them as spirits that remain with us in the love and memories we shared. And even if we don't fully understand what happens, one thing is certain: love never dies. Science tells us that energy never disappears, it only changes form. The warmth, the affection, and the presence of our pets may not be here in the same way, but the love they gave us stays forever. Every wag of their tail, every purr, every playful moment, they remain a part of us, shaping who we are. So when pets die, maybe they don't truly leave. Maybe they continue to live in the moments we cherish, in the lessons they taught us about loyalty and love. And just maybe, one day, in some way, we'll see them again. When a pet dies, the emotional and spiritual impact on its owner can be profound and deeply personal. The loss is often compared to that of losing a close friend or family member, as pets become integral parts of our lives. They offer companionship, unconditional love, and a sense of routine, and their absence leaves a significant void. The grieving process varies for each person, but it commonly includes feelings of sadness, guilt, loneliness, and even depression. Many pet owners find themselves struggling with the sudden silence in their home, missing the familiar sounds of paws on the floor, the soft purring of a cat, or the excited barking of a dog when they return home. The emotional pain of losing a pet is often underestimated by those who have never had a close bond with an animal. Society sometimes dismisses pet grief as less significant than human loss, which can make it difficult for grieving owners to find support and understanding. This phenomenon, known as disenfranchised grief, can make people feel isolated in their mourning, unable to express the depth of their sorrow without fear of being judged. However, for those who have loved and cared for a pet, the loss can be devastating. Many experience physical symptoms of grief, such as fatigue, loss of appetite, headaches, and even difficulty sleeping. The mind struggles to accept the reality that a beloved companion is no longer there, leading to moments of disbelief or the instinct to look for the pet in their usual spots. Memories of the pet can trigger strong emotional responses, whether it's seeing their favorite toy, passing by the place they used to sleep, or simply thinking about their unique quirks and habits. Some pet owners replay their last moments together, questioning if they did enough, if they made the right decisions, or if they could have prevented the loss in some way. This self-reflection can lead to guilt, especially if the pet's passing involved euthanasia, an accident, or a sudden illness. Many struggle with the weight of making the decision to put a pet to sleep, wondering if they let go too soon or if they should have tried harder to prolong their life. These thoughts can be overwhelming and contribute to prolonged grief. Spiritually, the impact of a pet's death varies depending on personal beliefs and cultural perspectives. Some people find comfort in the idea that their pet has crossed over into a peaceful afterlife, often referred to as the Rainbow Bridge, a place where animals are free from pain and suffering, waiting to reunite with their owners someday. This belief brings solace to many, providing a sense of hope that their bond with their pet is not truly broken but simply transformed into a different existence. Others see their pet's spirit as staying with them in some way, whether through signs, dreams, or a lingering sense of presence in their home. These experiences, whether real or imagined, can offer reassurance that their pet is still with them in a different form. Religious and cultural beliefs also play a role in how people process the loss of a pet. Some faiths suggest that animals have souls and will be reunited with their owners in the afterlife, while others view them as beings that do not continue beyond this life. Regardless of religious perspective, many people seek comfort in rituals, such as lighting candles, holding small ceremonies, or even writing letters to their departed pet. These acts of remembrance help in the healing process, allowing pet owners to express their love and grief in meaningful ways. Dreams of deceased pets are another common experience among grieving owners. Some report having vivid dreams where their pet appears happy and healthy, bringing a sense of closure and peace. Others feel that their pet's spirit remains nearby, offering comfort during difficult times. These spiritual experiences, whether based on belief or psychological coping mechanisms, provide many with the reassurance that their pet is still connected to them in some way. The impact of losing a pet also extends to daily routines and habits. Many pet owners structure their days around feeding, walking, and caring for their animals. When a pet is suddenly gone, it disrupts this routine, leaving an emptiness that can be difficult to adjust to. Some people find themselves automatically reaching for the leash, expecting to hear their pet's footsteps, or instinctively setting out food and water bowls, only to realize their pet is no longer there. These small but significant habits take time to unlearn, and each realization can bring another wave of grief. The healing process after losing a pet is not linear. Some days may feel easier, while others are filled with overwhelming sadness. Many people find comfort in looking through photos, sharing memories with friends or family, or creating a special tribute, such as a scrapbook or a garden memorial. Some choose to adopt another pet, not to replace the one they lost but to continue sharing their love with another animal in need. However, others may feel that they can never go through the pain of loss again and decide not to have another pet. The way individuals cope with loss varies greatly, and there is no right or wrong way to grieve. For those deeply connected to their pets, the loss can trigger reflections on the meaning of life, love, and mortality. It can be a reminder of the fleeting nature of time and the importance of cherishing every moment with loved ones, both human and animal. Some find that their pet's passing teaches them valuable lessons about compassion, patience, and resilience, shaping their perspectives on life and death. The grieving process, though painful, can also be a time of personal growth and deeper emotional awareness. Even years after a pet has passed, their memory remains a cherished part of an owner's heart. Certain dates, like the anniversary of their passing or their birthday, may bring back emotions, but they also serve as reminders of the love and joy that was shared. Many people find that, over time, the pain of loss is replaced with gratitude for the time they had together. Rather than focusing on the end, they remember the happy moments, the unconditional love, and the special bond that will always remain. When a pet dies, scientific and philosophical perspectives offer different ways of understanding what happens next. From a scientific standpoint, death is the cessation of all biological functions that sustain life. The heart stops beating, the brain ceases activity, and the body begins the natural process of decomposition. Cells break down, and microorganisms assist in returning the body to the environment, completing the natural cycle of life and death. Energy, as understood by physics, does not disappear but transforms into different forms. The chemical energy stored in the body is released back into nature, whether through burial, cremation, or natural decomposition. This transformation aligns with the first law of thermodynamics, which states that energy cannot be created or destroyed but only changes form. While this scientific explanation is factual, it does not address the emotional or existential questions that arise when a beloved pet dies. Biologically, the bond between humans and their pets is more than just an emotional connection, it has measurable effects on the brain and body. Studies show that interacting with pets increases oxytocin levels, the hormone responsible for bonding and feelings of love. This chemical reaction strengthens the attachment between humans and animals, making the loss feel as significant as losing a human loved one. The brain processes grief similarly in both cases, with areas responsible for emotions, memories, and social bonds becoming highly active after the loss of a pet. These neurological effects explain why pet loss can feel overwhelming and why some individuals struggle with deep sadness or even symptoms of depression after their pet passes away. From a philosophical standpoint, different cultures and belief systems offer varied interpretations of what happens when pets die. Some philosophies propose that animals, like humans, have souls that continue beyond physical existence. In many traditions, there is a belief in an afterlife or reincarnation where animals may return in another form or reunite with their owners in another realm. The rainbow bridge concept, for example, is a comforting vision that imagines pets waiting in a beautiful, peaceful place until they can be reunited with their owners. This idea, while not based on scientific evidence, provides emotional solace to many grieving pet owners. Other philosophical perspectives take a more materialistic approach, suggesting that consciousness is purely a product of the brain and ceases to exist once the body stops functioning. In this view, the pet does not continue in any conscious form but lives on in the memories and impact they left behind. Some philosophers argue that the love and experiences shared with a pet create a lasting effect, influencing the owner's emotions, behaviors, and even future relationships with other animals. This perspective suggests that even if a pet does not continue to exist in a spiritual sense, their presence in the lives of those who love them carries on. Religious traditions also play a significant role in shaping beliefs about what happens when pets die. In some faiths, animals are seen as sacred beings with souls that move on to another existence. For example, Hinduism teaches the concept of reincarnation, where all living beings, including animals, continue through cycles of life and rebirth. Buddhism also acknowledges the possibility of animals being reborn, depending on their karma. In Christianity, beliefs vary, with some interpretations suggesting that animals may be present in heaven, while others believe that only human souls continue. Islamic teachings emphasize the importance of kindness to animals and acknowledge that animals have their own place in creation, though their afterlife status is less defined. These religious perspectives provide comfort to many, reinforcing the idea that their beloved pets may still exist in some form beyond death. Some philosophical perspectives focus on the interconnectedness of all life. The idea that every living being is part of a greater whole suggests that when a pet dies, they do not simply vanish but become part of the universe in a different way. This view aligns with certain indigenous and spiritual traditions that see life as a continuous cycle rather than a linear path with an absolute end. In these belief systems, a pet's spirit or essence may return to nature, manifesting in the wind, the trees, or the energy surrounding their former home. Some people find comfort in seeing signs in nature, such as a butterfly landing nearby or a familiar-looking cloud, interpreting them as messages from their departed pet. Modern discussions about consciousness also influence how people think about the death of pets. Some scientists and philosophers explore the idea that consciousness may not be limited to the brain but could exist as a fundamental part of the universe. This theory, sometimes referred to as panpsychism, suggests that all living beings, including animals, participate in a form of universal awareness. If this idea holds any truth, it raises the possibility that a pet's consciousness may continue in a way that science has yet to understand. While there is no empirical evidence to confirm this theory, it offers an alternative perspective that bridges scientific inquiry and spiritual belief. Memorialization is another way that people cope with pet loss, reflecting the idea that a pet's presence does not fully disappear. Some owners choose to keep ashes in urns, create special memorial gardens, or even turn their pets' remains into keepsakes like jewelry or artwork. This practice reflects the human need to maintain a connection with lost loved ones, reinforcing the idea that while the physical body is gone, the significance of the pet's existence continues. The growing trend of pet cemeteries and memorial services also highlights how deeply people value their pets and seek ways to honor them beyond death. Another scientific consideration is the role that genetics and evolution play in our relationships with pets. Dogs and cats, for example, have co-evolved with humans for thousands of years, developing social bonds that mimic those between humans. This evolutionary connection may explain why humans feel such a deep sense of loss when a pet dies. It is a bond that has been ingrained over generations. Some studies suggest that the way humans grieve pets is influenced by evolutionary survival mechanisms, as forming close attachments to animals historically provided companionship, protection, and even food security. This deep-rooted connection makes it difficult for the brain to simply move on when a pet dies, reinforcing the long-lasting emotional and psychological impact. Scientific advancements in cloning and genetic preservation have also introduced new ethical and philosophical questions about pet death. Some people choose to clone their pets, believing that having a genetic duplicate will ease their grief. However, this raises debates about whether a cloned pet is truly the same as the original or if the essence of a pet is more than just DNA. Others explore emerging technologies, such as digital memorials or AI-generated simulations of deceased pets, as ways to maintain a connection even after death. These developments challenge traditional views on life, death, and what it means to truly lose a pet. Ultimately, scientific and philosophical perspectives on pet death offer a wide range of interpretations, from purely biological explanations to deeper existential questions. While science explains the physical process of death, philosophy provides different ways of understanding its meaning and emotional impact. The combination of these perspectives helps individuals navigate grief, offering both rational explanations and comforting beliefs.